My husband and I were driving home when a woman, dressed provocatively, suddenly appeared in front of our car, making us stop. She slammed her fist against the window, demanding, "Get the fuck out, you bitch." I was still trying to process what was happening, confusion swirling in my mind, when I saw my husband, Tristan McAllister, get out of the car. He walked over to the woman and wrapped his arms around her, attempting to calm her down. "Shirley, please don't make a scene," he said, his voice filled with apology. "I didn't ignore your calls on purpose. I was just tied up with a family dinner today." My chest tightened. I opened the car door, ready to step out and confront them, but Tristan reached over with his free hand and gently, but firmly pushed me back into the passenger seat. "Don't come out. Don't scare her," he urged, his voice urgent. Shirley Reynolds pointed a trembling finger at me, her face twisted with rage. "You slut, do you think Tristan is yours alone? Stop hogging him. If you don't let him answer me next time, I'll tear your face off." Here I was, his legal wife, trapped in the passenger seat like some interloper, forced to hide. It felt like being struck by lightning. After a grueling labor that left me partially paralyzed and 3 years abroad for treatment, I had finally begun to recover. Only for this woman, this mistress, to appear openly and challenge me. Tristan, as if trying to soothe a stubborn child, left me and the car behind. He scooped Shirley into his arms and walked away with her. Just as I was gathering my thoughts about her call came in. "Don't think you can use divorce threats to make Tristan cut me off," Shirley sneered over the phone. "Let me make it clear. I don't care whether he divorces you or not. Being his wife is a burden anyway. Besides, illegitimate children have rights too. Tristan's money and love are all mine." His money? Unbelievable. Fine. If this is how she wanted to play it, I'd meet her on her terms. "Only shallow women care so much about titles," Shirley continued. "You can have the title of wife, but stay in your lane. Don't interfere in what's mine, Lauren." Her words dripped with arrogance, as if she were the rightful wife. The confidence Tristan had given her fueled her audacity. A fire ignited inside me as I gripped the phone. "If you were capable at all, you wouldn't be throwing tantrums like this in front of me," I shot back. "And the title wasn't yours to give. It's mine, and no amount of scheming or pleading will ever change that. The things you dismiss, you think I'd care about." Shirley's fury flared. "You'll pay for that. I'll show you just how much your precious husband belongs to me." With a sharp click, she hung up. I sat frozen, phone still in hand, stunned by the reality of it all. If she hadn't confronted me, I would never have believed that Tristan, the man who had promised to stand by me no matter what, could betray me so blatantly. The same man who had sacrificed everything, spent our fortune to send me abroad for treatment, now betrayed me with her. I reached for my father's most trusted lawyer, Felix Armstrong, and sent a message. "I want to protect our assets. Help me check Tristan's finances. He's cheating on me." Making that decision felt suffocating, as though a part of me was being ripped away. When Tristan finally returned, guilt shadowed his face. He sat across from me, unable to meet my eyes. I stared at him, struggling to believe the man before me was the same one who had once held me close and promised we would never be apart. I remembered us as teenagers. Tristan, 18, picking a wildflower from the roadside. With a shy smile, he had handed it to me. "I'll always give you, Lauren Carmichael, flowers, and that means I will always love you passionately." The memory cut through me like a blade. My chest ached, my eyes filled with tears. Perhaps seeing me cry finally stirred something in him. His gaze flickered with guilt. I'm sorry, he muttered, voice barely above a whisper. For a brief moment, our eyes met, but then he quickly looked away, unable to hold my stare. "Is this how you explain yourself?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady, though a tremor betrayed me. Tears shimmered in my eyes, threatening to fall. "Shirley doesn't care about the title," Tristan said softly. "I'll try to balance both of your relationships." His words hit me like a punch to the gut. He actually expected me to agree to share him with another woman? I bit my lip, forcing back the surge of emotion. There was no point in losing control over being unloved. I needed to stay composed. I took a deep breath and spoke evenly. "Let's get a divorce. I'll make it simple for you." Tristan's expression hardened immediately, eyes resolute, as if preparing to argue. "I married you, and I will always be responsible for you. You suffered complications during childbirth and were paralyzed for 3 years because of me. I'll spend my life making it up to you. Just don't make things harder for Shirley." I laughed bitterly. "Making it up to me? By being with another woman? He froze, the weight of my words sinking in. For a moment, he looked as if he might crack. I'm sorry, he mumbled helplessly. But I'll be honest, I love both you and Shirley. I can't let either of you go. Before I could respond, his phone rang. He fumbled with it, and when he saw the caller ID, his face tensed. Tossing a final line over his shoulder, he stood abruptly. I won't divorce you. And then he left. I didn't need to ask. There was no doubt it was Shirley calling. In front of her, he was like a dog at her feet, ready to drop everything at her command. The love he once reserved for me was now all hers. I couldn't bear it. I went straight to my in-laws and revealed Tristan's affair. They barely reacted. Arthur waved dismissively. What man doesn't have other women, especially wealthy ones? Don't worry. The McAllister and Carmichael families' union is solid. No one can take your place as the first wife. They assumed I sought sympathy. But I wasn't looking for that. I was asserting something far more important. When respect vanishes in a marriage, it becomes a battle for control over wealth, influence, and pride. I hadn't wanted to confront Tristan, but this wasn't about stubbornness. It was about standing up for myself. I wouldn't let Shirley take everything from me. I didn't waste a moment. I headed straight to McAllister Group. There was a vital client with a birthday, and I needed the perfect gift. At the shopping center, I selected a stunning emerald necklace. The attendant packed it carefully, smiling politely. That will be $290,000, ma'am. I handed over my card confidently. The attendant swiped it, then paused. Ma'am, the balance is insufficient. I froze. This was Tristan's unlimited card, given to me 5 years ago, rarely used. I was about to call him when the unmistakable click of heels sounded behind me. Tristan, pack up all your latest models for me. It was Shirley. She approached with confidence, shooting me a disdainful glance before producing a sleek black card from her Hermes bag, Tristan's main unlimited card. I held the secondary card, its limit tethered to the primary. The attendant greeted her politely. Miss Shirley, that will be $5.68 million. With a flick of her wrist, she swiped it effortlessly. She lit a cigarette, exhaling with air of superiority. The staff scrambled to assist her, offering a lighter with exaggerated deference. She drew a slow drag, eyes fixed on me. Where a man's money goes, his heart follows. How dare you step into a luxury store with no funds? The smoke curled around my face, but I remained unfazed. I met her gaze calmly. Reaching for my phone, I kept my composure. Hello, 911? Someone has stolen and fraudulently used my husband's card. Please send someone immediately. For a brief moment, Shirley froze, caught off guard. Then her arrogance returned, daring me to follow through. Just wait until Tristan gets here. I'll wipe that smug look right off your face. Shirley snapped, dialing his number with a voice full of venom. Tristan, your wife is causing trouble again. You have 20 minutes to get here and deal with her. If you're late, it's over between us. She didn't hide her status as the mistress. Unlike most women in her position, who cloak themselves in coy smiles and secrecy, Shirley flaunted it proudly, daring anyone to challenge her. The police had just arrived when Tristan stormed in, panting as if he had run through the streets. Without hesitation, he positioned himself between me and Shirley, shielding her with a sharp, assessing gaze aimed at me. What's all this about? He demanded. Shirley, emboldened by his obvious favoritism, pushed past him and slapped me across the face. You stupid bitch. Who do you think you are, calling the police on me? I'm spending my man's money. It's my right. None of your business. Her manicured nails scraped my cheek, leaving a thin line of blood. She tried for a second slap, but Tristan quickly pulled her into his arms, attempting to calm her. Baby, don't get upset. I'll handle this, he murmured, as if soothing a wild animal. Fury exploded inside me. I swung my arm at Shirley, but Tristan grabbed my wrist midair, holding me back. His brow furrowed, concern evident in his voice. Please, just stop. Can you? He positioned himself between us, shielding Shirley. There I was, humiliated, trapped in a life I once thought secure. The man who had vowed to protect me was now enabling the mistress. In desperation, I lashed out at Tristan, slapping him hard across the face. You're teaming up with your mistress to bully me. Tristan didn't resist. He simply stood there, looking lost, unsure of what to do. His heart, I knew, still belonged to Shirley. Shirley, feigning outrage, lunged at me again. You dare hit my man? I'll kill you, you bitch. Tristan blocked her effortlessly, his tone gentle, like he was handling a child.
Okay. Calm down.
She has no right to hit you. Only I can do that. No one else has that privilege. The way he held Shirley, gazing at her with affection, made me feel invisible, as if our shared life had never existed. The police intervened, separating us. One officer asked, "Is it true this card was stolen?" I opened my phone, showing them our marriage certificate. "We're married." Another woman used my husband's card for over $5 million without our knowledge. How is this not theft? Shirley stood firm, unbothered. "I didn't steal it. Tristan gave me this card. Spending his money is my right." Turning to him, she purred confidently. "Babe, tell them. Did I steal this? Or did you give it to me?" Tristan hesitated for a fraction of a second, glancing at me, and Shirley's fury flared. She slapped his arm. "What's this, Tristan? You can't even let her go." No, Shirley, don't be so quick to anger," Tristan said softly, resting a hand on her waist. Turning to the police, he explained, "It's a misunderstanding. I gave her the card. She used it with my permission. Nothing was stolen." I felt humiliated, reduced to a joke. Sighing at the tension, the officers offered the standard advice. "This is a personal matter. Resolve it yourselves and don't involve the police." As they left, Shirley called after them, her voice dripping with disdain. "Don't leave. That bitch called the police and slandered me. I'm going to make her pay." Shirley's voice rang out, sharp and furious, loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. Tristan, clearly panicked, rushed to calm her. "Let's just forget about this, okay? Don't make things worse. Please, give me some face." "No," Shirley screamed, voice cracking. "Do you love her more than me? If that's the case, then you two can live your lives together. I'll just get out of the way." She threw a full-blown tantrum, like a child denied her way. It was almost painful to watch. I could never have imagined that Tristan, the man I once adored, the gentle, patient man I thought I knew, would betray me with someone like Shirley. She was everything I wasn't. Vulgar, volatile, and utterly self-centered. Terrified that Shirley might leave him, Tristan turned on me. "This is your fault. You should go reflect on yourself for a few days." His words hit me like a slap. It was as if he wasn't even the same man I had married, making me question if I had ever truly known him. Under Shirley's insistence that I had falsely accused her and slandered her to the police, they took me away. Once inside the back of the police car, Tristan tried to comfort me, his voice almost frantic. "Shirley has a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Just avoid her next time, okay?" I didn't look at him. I gave only a cold, exhausted stare. Words were no longer worth it. At the station, I immediately contacted Felix, my attorney, instructing him to slip divorce papers into the paperwork in a way that Tristan would sign them unknowingly. 7 days later, I was released, coinciding with the anniversary of my son's death, the one I had lost due to complications during childbirth. Every year, Tristan would accompany me to the grave, but today I pushed aside all bitterness. All I wanted was to show my son that, even after all this time, his parents hadn't forgotten him. The maid told me Tristan hadn't been home for a week, obviously still with Shirley. I called him, but Shirley answered. "Oh, the bitch is out already? What do you want with my man?" I was about to respond when Felix arrived, handing me the divorce papers that Tristan had signed. Since we were legally divorced, there was no reason to waste words on the mistress. "Today is the anniversary of my son's death," I said coldly. "If he wants to come, fine. If not, it doesn't matter." That set Shirley off immediately. She opened a video call and shoved the screen in front of me. "Stupid bitch, look carefully. Tristan's son is perfectly fine. If you dare curse our child again, I'll kill you." The video showed Tristan at the dining table with 2 children, an older girl around 2 and a younger boy, just over a year old. A birthday cake sat on the table, and Tristan held both children in his arms. "Come here, let daddy hold you." When he noticed me on the screen, he froze for a moment. Guilt flashed in his eyes, but he didn't blame Shirley for revealing everything. I stood stiffly, motionless, watching. Even though I had severed ties with him, the sight pierced my heart. During my 3 years abroad for treatment, he had fathered 2 children with Shirley. Then, Shirley jabbed again, her voice unnaturally sweet. "Oh, I just remembered. You must be talking about the son who died at birth, right? How pitiful. Today is also our youngest son's birthday. Tristan doesn't have time for someone who's gone. Go cry at the grave by yourself. She hung up with a sharp click. I sat frozen, phone still in hand. Less than a minute later, a message from Tristan appeared. Lauren, you've always been so understanding. Let me go with you tomorrow to visit our son's grave. Please believe me, I still love you. My chest tightened, and I let out a bitter laugh. Tristan, you'll never understand pain until it hits you. I'll make you feel everything you've put me through, I thought inwardly. I forced myself to stay calm and turned to Felix. Don't tell anyone about the divorce for now. I have other plans. That night, I booked a flight abroad in secret. Quietly, without a trace, I vanished from Tristan's life. Shirley didn't stop at personal attacks. She flaunted it publicly on social media. Look at you, defeated and running away. What a joke. Such a disgrace. It hit like a punch, but I refused to give her the satisfaction of a reaction. Meanwhile, Tristan was frantic, hiring private detectives across the globe to track me down. He even posted a reward notice offering 30% of McAllister Group shares for my location, later increasing it to 50%. Yet nothing, no leads, no news. A full year passed before Tristan unexpectedly found me at Disneyland. He was there with his children. I was with my son. When his eyes landed on the baby in my arms, he froze. Relief softened his expression as he hurried toward me. Lauren, baby, I finally found you, Tristan said, his voice thick with emotion. I stepped back, clutching my son tightly, and shot Tristan a cold look. Don't scare my son. He paused, glancing at me and the child, clearly confused. Our son. Before I could answer, his face broke into a wide, joyous smile. This is wonderful. We even have a daughter, too. It was almost laughable. During all those months, I had been bedridden after childbirth, recovering overseas. He hadn't been there, not once. And he hadn't even noticed the subtle expression of concern on Felix's face. Shirley's daughter, eyes like dark grapes, scowled and shoved me hard. She had seen me before, but the hostility was obvious. Shirley had clearly filled her child's head with all sorts of nasty stories about me. Then Shirley's son began crying, pointing at me. Dad, let's go home and find Mommy. This woman is bad. Tristan immediately scooped him up, attempting to calm him. Don't mind him. He doesn't understand, he said, gentle yet frustrated. I smiled faintly, my words biting. Like mother, like daughter. If I couldn't win against her mother, I certainly can't win against them. I shook my head, pretending to be wounded, and started walking away, holding my child. Tristan panicked and grabbed my arm. Lauren, don't leave. I know I've made you suffer. I'll make it up to you. I forced a tear, barely visible. And how exactly are you going to make that up? Forget it. I don't need you. I'm fine with our son. I tried to move past him, but he nervously blocked my path, desperation in his eyes. His son continued crying, and Tristan, helpless as ever, looked at me. Daddy, stop talking to that bad woman. If you do, I'll tell Mommy. Then his daughter began hitting me, pushing with both hands and feet. I deliberately stumbled, falling to the ground but keeping my son close. His cries pierced my heart, and I held him close, murmuring soft comforts. Felix rushed over, his concern evident. He helped me up, sternly turning to Tristan. Shirley's kid is bullying Lauren, and you can't even protect her? What right do you have to ask her to come back with you? Tristan's eyes locked onto Felix's hand still holding mine. That small gesture seemed to set him off. Without warning, he yanked me to his side. This is a family matter. It has nothing to do with Attorney Armstrong. His voice was sharp, anger lacing every word. I calmly freed my arm, giving him a dismissive glance. Felix is right. If children can bully me, why would I go back? Shirley's daughter, furious, pushed and slapped me again.
Bitch.
Bad woman. Don't take my daddy away. I'll protect Mommy. Finally, Tristan intervened. He pulled his daughter aside, delivering a firm but quick slap to her backside. Daphne, don't be rude. Lauren is my wife. You must respect her. Daphne erupted into tears, pointing at me. She's not your wife. You said Mommy is your favorite. I'll tell Mommy you hit me for this, witch. I tried to look hurt, but the words stung more than I cared to admit. Tristan, now visibly furious, slapped her again. You've been spoiled. Who taught you to use foul language? Daphne froze, stunned. Her eyes locked on her father, then tears flowed harder. Tristan, frustrated beyond belief, barked at the staff. Take Daphne away. With the child removed, Tristan's expression softened. Genuine pleading filled his eyes as he stepped closer. Lauren, will you come home with me? I pretended to hesitate, letting the worry in his eyes grow. Eventually, I relented. Okay, I said calmly, offering the smallest sense of relief. I returned to McAllister Manor with my 3-month-old son. The warmth of my in-laws' smiles hit me immediately. Lauren, you've suffered enough, Arthur said, smiling kindly. You're the legitimate wife. Our family won't let you or the child suffer. I will bequeath all my property to our eldest grandson. Arthur held my son gently, showering him with affection. His wealth was the backbone of the McAllister family, and I couldn't help but feel satisfied, quietly observing the power that money commanded. Tristan, anxious to please, added, Lauren, I'll also leave 40% of my assets to our son. I forced a small, understanding smile. Thank you, on behalf of our son. For a moment, relief flickered across his face, thinking I had forgiven him. Then his phone rang incessantly. I didn't need to guess who it was Shirley. Tristan, glancing at me warily, stepped outside to answer. It's work, he muttered. I'll take it outside. He returned minutes later, surprisingly prompt. Arthur and Eleanor, impressed with his behavior, shared approving looks. Tristan is different now, Eleanor remarked. He's more family-oriented. With a son, he'll definitely focus on his family. Tristan looked at me as if waiting for recognition. Yes, from now on I'll focus on the family, he confirmed. I gave only a faint smile in response. At dinner, Eleanor and Tristan requested my favorite dishes. But after a year of Felix's home-cooked meals, my tastes had changed, and I found nothing appealing. Noticing my lack of appetite, Tristan asked, concerned, Not to your liking? I smiled faintly. I prefer spicy food now. He paused, surprised. I had always avoided spicy dishes. Leaning over, he placed an arm around my shoulder. Your tastes have changed. I'll tell the kitchen to add more spice next time. Unaware that my change in taste mirrored the change in me, a servant entered, interrupting the uneasy silence. Sir, that woman is here. Tristan froze, glancing nervously at me. I'll be right back, he said. Seconds later, a loud car horn blared from the front. Tristan, get out here. You hit our daughter for that bitch? Do you think I'm dead? How dare you treat Daphne like this? Arthur and Eleanor looked horrified. Fueled by anger, Arthur slammed his utensils down. Look at the kind of woman you've involved yourself with, Tristan. She's a complete shrew. And now she's causing a scene here. Tristan's face twisted with guilt and desperation. I'll handle this, he promised, hurrying out of the room. I followed, unsure of what would happen next. Outside, he held Shirley in his arms, caught between frustration and exasperation. Stop causing trouble. If you keep this up, I'll be angry. Go back now. What trouble have I caused? Shirley snapped, her voice rising. That bitch came back, and you hit our daughter. Tristan, have you lost your mind? Don't you love us anymore? Her tantrum escalated when she saw me, charging forward with hands raised as if to strike. Shameless bitch, she screamed. You dared to encourage my man to hit my daughter? You'll pay for this, wicked woman. I remained perfectly still, observing her unravel. Tristan stepped in, trying to restrain her, but her temper only worsened, her insults sharper than before. Weren't you running away before? She shrieked. Why are you back now, bringing a bastard child with you? The slap that followed caught me entirely off guard, striking like a punch to the stomach. I was stunned. Never had I thought Tristan would actually hit her. Shirley froze, tears streaming down her face like marbles. You hit me, she cried, voice shaking. For her? Tristan softened, guilt evident. I'm sorry, I lost control. Stop making a scene. This only makes my parents dislike you more. Lauren has accepted your existence. Can't we just live in peace? Shirley, still crying, pointed a trembling finger at me. You're so biased. You hit me for her and even hit our daughter. After everything, you still expect me to endure this? Tristan, you've changed. Desperate, Tristan held her arms firmly. I'll spend Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays with you, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays with the family. But can't this arrangement work? Please don't make a fuss. Shirley wasn't satisfied. Her frustration boiled over. Tristan tried again, pleading, Can't you see what I'm dealing with? I love you, but I love Lauren too. I can't end our marriage, and my family vowed never to abandon Lauren. Softening, he coaxed. Shirley, baby, I know you have a temper. Deep down, you're reasonable. Please understand me. Arthur and Eleanor arrived, their concern plain. Arthur's anger broke through. What are you standing around for? Get her out. If she comes back again, I'll break her legs. Tristan stepped in front of Shirley, pleading with his father. Dad, please give me some time. Shirley gave us a son and a grandson. She's not a bad person, just temperamental. Let me handle this. I calmly walked outside, holding my son. Since Shirley is so bothered by my staying here, I'll check into a hotel. I don't want to cause more trouble for your family. I forced a tear, glistening just enough, and walked toward Felix's car, feigning understanding despite my inner rage. Tristan, Arthur, and Eleanor immediately intervened. Tristan grabbed my arm, pleading. Lauren, don't leave. Your family is here. Why stay in a hotel? Please trust me. Eleanor gently took my son. Lauren, our family recognizes only you as our daughter-in-law. No one else matters. Being Tristan's wife will always be yours alone. Shirley shot a scornful glance at me. Arthur stepped forward firmly. As Tristan's wife, you shouldn't be staying in a hotel. Don't worry, I'll handle this. Shirley seethed at Tristan. I've given you 2 children. I've endured hardships. Arthur retorted sharply. We don't need anyone in it for credit alone. I lowered my gaze, feigning hurt. Please don't let me cause friction. I'll take the child and leave, my voice trembling just enough to seem real. I lifted my eyes to Tristan, fake tears shimmering. Life is short. I don't want you bound by responsibility. I know you love Shirley. I wish you both the best. I stepped toward the door. Tristan's confusion shifted to panic. Get her out of here, he snapped, ordering bodyguards to move Shirley aside. She resisted, screaming, Tristan, is this how you treat me? You don't love me anymore? The bodyguards lifted her and ejected her from the property. Her cries echoed, fading only after she was gone. Arthur and Eleanor stood beside me, encouraging me to remain at McAllister Manor. I gave Felix a reassuring look and reluctantly followed. That night, the house was eerily quiet. Tristan, clad in silk pajamas, tried to appear calm, but his guilt was evident. My son slept in my arms, and I rocked him gently, avoiding direct interaction. Tristan sat nearby. His phone buzzed incessantly, Shirley's calls, and his patience frayed. Finally, he silenced it with a frustrated sigh. I spoke calmly, steady as stone. Can you tell me why you love Shirley so much? He lowered his gaze, silent, collecting his thoughts. When he finally looked up, hesitation lingered, but my calm presence coaxed honesty. When you were overseas, he began softly, I knew you loved flowers. Every day, I'd buy fresh flowers to show you during our video calls. Shirley owns that shop. Over time, I found her interesting, genuine, carefree. Unlike me, I was raised strict and controlled. She was free, and I wanted that. He continued rapidly, words spilling out. She may have a temper, swear a lot, and act impulsively, but in her wildness, I admired her. I wanted to live like her, without restraint. And you, Lauren, we are so alike. Too well-raised, too disciplined. We lost life's excitement. I listened silently, composed, feeling I had heard enough. He asked softly, apologetically, Where have you been these months? Are you okay? I replied coolly, final. I've been fine. Felix has taken care of me. Life is good. Misreading me, Tristan smiled faintly, relief flickering in his eyes. Attorney Armstrong was your father's trusted advisor. He's been doing well, so I'll give him a 10% raise. I smiled faintly, emotionless. You don't need to worry. I know what to do. Tristan softened after our conversation, guilt pushing him to treat me better, yet I felt the tension still lingering, untouched. No matter how much Shirley screamed, cried, or tried to draw Tristan's attention over the past few days, he refused to leave McAllister Manor. Finally, Shirley reached her breaking point. She faked a suicide threat, pushing the situation to the extreme, and escalated it further by leaking everything to the media. Within hours, major news outlets splashed headlines everywhere. Tristan McAllister's mistress driven to suicide by his wife, leaving behind 2 innocent illegitimate children. The online backlash was relentless. Lauren Carmichael can't control her husband and takes her frustration out on another woman. Truly off-putting. Shirley Reynolds may be the mistress, but she doesn't deserve to die. Tristan's wife pushing her to the brink is unforgivable. Typical rich people's drama. When tired of one woman, they team up with the wife to deal with the mistress. I could only watch as my reputation was dragged through the mud. Meanwhile, Tristan turned the world upside down, searching hospitals and locations for Shirley. But she had vanished, hiding with her 2 children, impossible to locate. Soon, a taunting message arrived from a fake account. I didn't care about being Tristan's wife before, but now that you're back, bitch, I'll fight for it.
Tristan loves me.
He'll never abandon me and our children. Watch out, old bitch. I smiled bitterly. Shirley had no idea I had long discarded the title she was so desperate to claim. I typed back quickly. Shirley, low-tier drama isn't fun. I prefer high-stakes games. Of course, she didn't get the hint and fired back, furious that I had stepped ahead. Meanwhile, Tristan faced mounting criticism online. The McAllisters' reputation was in turmoil. Arthur and Eleanor scrambled to repair the damage, pressuring Tristan to stay away from Shirley, though she was clearly manipulating him. Then came the family's official statement. They would take responsibility for the 2 illegitimate children, but made one thing crystal clear: Shirley would never be recognized. Any attempt to leverage the children would sever all ties. As expected, McAllister Group's stock plummeted. I realized it was time to act. I immediately called Felix to set up a press conference, intending to handle the situation myself. Before I could reach the venue, Shirley struck. She rammed her car into mine, forcing me to stop. Then, with shocking audacity, she pulled out a 1-meter-long machete and kidnapped me. She dragged me to an abandoned factory, tied me up, and, in a manic display, filmed herself restraining me before sending the video to Tristan. You forced me into this, she spat, venom lacing her words. Since you don't care about my life, I'll kill this bitch first. If she hadn't come back, our lives would have been fine. She's the root of all our problems. She continued, eyes wild. Tristan, you don't want her dead?
Fine.
Divorce her and marry me. I laughed coldly. Shirley, let me tell you a secret. Her curiosity overcame her fury. What secret? I leaned in, voice steady and unshaken. I've been divorced from Tristan for over a year. I'm already married to Felix. My son's father is Felix. There's no need for you to wait for me to divorce him to claim a position. Disbelief clouded her face, but I pressed on. Although I'm divorced and my son isn't a McAllister, Arthur and Eleanor have already transferred all their assets to him. Even Tristan gave him 40%. Seeing her confusion, I continued, actually, all this wealth originally belonged to my family. After my parents passed, they entrusted management of the assets to the McAllisters. I just found a way to reclaim it. Shirley stood frozen, staring in disbelief, hand still gripping the machete, but her confidence crumbling. You lying bitch. Are you trying to trick me? She hissed, voice quivering. I smiled wryly, unfazed. As a mother, I understand you, I said calmly. Right now, you're focused on securing a future for your children. But consider the consequences. If you choose to kill me, you become a murderer. The law demands a murderer pay with their life. A smart person like you should understand that. Shirley never truly intended to kill me. It was all a show, a desperate attempt to scare Tristan and provoke a reaction. If she had truly wanted me dead, she wouldn't have bought such a convincing fake knife. Shirley, put down the knife. Do you hear me? I tried to keep my voice steady, though my pulse raced and fear crept in. Just then, Tristan appeared, his expression frantic, with the police right behind him, surrounding the area. When he saw Shirley raise the knife toward my neck, he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a gun from one of the officers and pointed it directly at her forehead. Put down the knife, do you hear me? His voice shook with rage, a far cry from the calm, composed man he once was. If you don't, I'll shoot. His eyes showed no trace of affection, only pure anger directed at the woman he once loved. Even I was taken aback by the intensity. Shirley, heartbroken and furious, snapped, So Lauren is the woman you love most? I'm nothing to you? The more you try to hurt her, the more I'll hurt you. She slashed the air in front of me with the knife. Without hesitation, Tristan fired. The bullet struck her forehead. Her body collapsed, eyes wide with shock, still staring at Tristan in disbelief. She had never expected the man she loved, her supposed protector, to end her life. Tristan, still shaking, rushed over to me, pulling me into his arms, speaking softly, as if trying to comfort a frightened child. Don't be afraid. It's over now. No one will hurt you again. He didn't spare Shirley a second glance. She might as well have never existed. That delayed affection, Was it only after blood had been spilled that it became unforgettable? The police quickly realized Shirley's machete was fake. Their disbelief filled the room. Tristan froze for a moment, shock etched into his features. He was taken in for questioning, his life suddenly hanging by a thread. Before leaving, he tried to reassure me, but his words felt empty. "Lauren, don't worry. Nothing will happen to me. I'll be out soon. Please stay at home with our son, okay?" I gave a faint smile, playing my part. "I don't think it's appropriate to stay at home with our son. My husband would disagree." Tristan looked utterly confused, clueless as ever. At that moment, a large screen at a nearby intersection lit up, broadcasting Felix's press conference. Felix stood tall, holding up our marriage certificate for the cameras. "Lauren is my wife," he said confidently. "We were married in March of last year. She divorced Tristan in February. Our child was conceived in April. Everything is legal and proper." He paused, letting the words sink in, then continued. "The reason for the divorce is clear. Tristan was unfaithful during our marriage. He fathered 2 illegitimate children." Tristan's face went pale, as if struck by lightning. His eyes widened in disbelief. "Lauren, you?" His voice cracked, caught between anger and shock. The thrill of revenge surged through me. I smiled. "What? You can't handle me treating you the way you treated me? Can't bear it? That's exactly how it should feel." "You," Tristan faltered, words dying on his lips, frustration flushing his face. I didn't look at him again. I turned and walked away, heading for the car. Even if the police hadn't arrived, nothing would have changed. Felix had already ensured my protection behind the scenes. Tristan would never know that every twist of that day had been meticulously orchestrated by us. The internet erupted again, but this time, all anger and fury were directed at Tristan and Shirley. Arthur and Eleanor, upon learning the truth, were so furious they ended up hospitalized with heart attacks. Yet, even in their rage, they didn't attempt to reclaim the assets transferred to my son. They knew any effort would only further disgrace the McAllister name, and those assets had never truly belonged to them in the first place. They had always been my family's, and I had simply taken back what was rightfully mine. It wasn't long before Tristan was sentenced to 1 year in prison for manslaughter. The media swarmed me for interviews. "Miss Lauren Carmichael, do you think you married down by marrying attorney Felix Armstrong? Might you regret it later?" I shrugged and smiled politely, my tone casual. "Are you suggesting that marrying the heir of the wealthiest family is a downgrade?" As I finished, Felix appeared, smiling warmly as he approached. Our love had arrived suddenly, yet it burned intensely, stronger and more enduring than I had ever imagined.